So JTRIG is something a bit more sinister, I would say, than what we've been talking about, and a far more kind of underhand and just despicable, really. Start the ball rolling with
this. JTRIG was exposed by Edward Snowden, and again, I'm actually with you on this, in as much as I don't trust him that completely, and I don't trust Julian Assange, and I think that essentially what this is very much like you stated before, where this is a head on a pike type thing. Like, if we tell people about this, then, you know, JTRIG, it is apparently it's only used against enemies of the state, but we'll see. Like, among the core self-identified purposes of JTRIG are two tactics. One, to inject all sorts of false material onto the internet in order to destroy the reputation of its targets, and two, to use social sciences and other techniques to manipulate online discourse and activism to generate outcomes it considers desirable. And this is a GCHQ project. Okay, to see how extremist these programs are, just consider the tactics they boast of using to achieve those ends. False flag operations, which is posting material to the internet and falsely attributing it to somebody else. Fake victim blog posts, pretending to be the victim of an individual whose reputation they want to destroy, and posting negative or contrary information on various forums. JTRIG has developed covert tools to seed the internet with false information, including the ability to manipulate the result of online polls, artificially inflate page view counts on websites, amplify sanctioned messages on YouTube, and plant false Facebook wall posts for entire countries. According to the study of a group by the UK's Defence Science and Technology Laboratory, the language of JTRIG operations is characterised by the terms discredit, distrust, dissuade, deceive, disrupt, delay, deny, denigrate, and deter. And this is the Joint Threat Research Intelligence Group, and it feeds false information into the field of the internet. It creates fake gurus. It starts AstroTurf campaigns, which is a fake grassroots charity campaign, and has sock puppet accounts, which is basically people pretending to be who they are. And a lot of these is government-paid trolls who influence chat via ridicule or other tactics. They actually use this in Argentina. They admitted to using this in Argentina to promote self-determination for the Argentinian people. Obviously, Falkland, Malvinas, whatever you want to call it. They promoted pro-British sentiment via propaganda campaigns hidden through social media to reduce the sentiment that the Falklands should go back to Argentina.
When was this then, Neil?
Well, this was very, very recently.
Oh, right, I see. Right, this is
like in the past few years, they actually did that.
Yeah.
And what's really strange is that basically we've got these types of programs, and all of a sudden, quite a lot of people have sort of forgotten 9/11, have forgotten 7/7, forgotten Al Qaeda, forgotten the creation of these groups, and all of a sudden, a lot of people are genuinely concerned that ISIS is a real. And radical Islam is a real thing.
This is what I've found in debates with people who were talking about are certain recent events staged, etc., or what's really going on, that you have to wind these people back to 9/11 and remind, and then they'll say, "Oh well, well I know that was set up,
but these
and
are real.
I know 7/7, but the Muslims are coming to get us." Because this was real and these people died.
Yeah, it's not the intelligence agencies. No, the problem is radical Islam. Apparently, all of a sudden,
a lot of people genuinely believe that, Neil.
I mean, there's always a problem with any type of extremism or radicalisation. It's not to say that it's totally blameless, but we know how intelligence agencies work, and we know how false flags work, and we know how propaganda and the concept of spreading a lot of these sort of nationalist groups. Bizarrely, the rhetoric that they spit out about Islam just so happens to fall directly in line with British and American foreign policy. Mm-hmm. Bizarre, isn't it? Mm. It's almost as if it was set up to promote that. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just have a look at some of these other JTRIG programs.
So JTRIG, it's been split down into all of these sub-projects, and they're all working in slightly different ways.
Yep.
Just manipulating the internet, essentially, with some very crafty techniques.
It's terrifying if you think about it, really. I mean, Underpass is a JTRIG program that changes the outcome of online polls. And we've discussed before how polls can they can intimate rather than report. Do you know what I mean? If
they can influence your opinion if you see a poll.
Yeah, if it's 100% of people think this, then you're less likely to go, well, actually, I'm going to go out in the street and be the one person that says no.
It's normative conformance, I think they call it.
Absolutely, yeah. Badger, which is a mass, it's a mass email swamping. So it's DDoSing basically, where you just you destroy a server by hitting them with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of documents. Right. There's Warpath, which is exactly the same thing, only with SMS, like text messages. It'll mass delivery a text to jam up a device, or alternatively, they can mass send out text or emails that promote a certain story or whatever. Silverlord disrupts videos on Vimeo, YouTube, Skype, anything like that. Miniature Hero disrupts Skype as a whole. So basically, if your Skype call's going down, it could be bad connection, it could be JTRIG.
Yeah, just want to interject on that one. Miniature Hero, it's called, disrupts Skype calls. So someone can externally eavesdrop on Skype, and if they want to kind of make it look like the line's gone. Or it's, now, I've noticed this on Radio 4, right? It's maybe something slightly different, where they're interviewing someone who is putting the opposing view, and is doing really well, and suddenly it starts to go, and then they'll say, "Oh, sorry about that, Mr. Such and Such. We seem to have lost that," and you can tell it's a digital call. It's probably Skype. Yeah, I don't know if this is true, but I just think they've got a button there. Yeah. They think, oh, this guy's beginning to win the argument. Right, well,
they have an admitted button. They have an admitted button. It's called Miniature Hero. Spring Bishop finds private photographs on social media, presumably for blackmail purposes. Yeah. Angry Pirate can disable an online social media account or an email account, make it completely inoperable.
Right.
Gateway, that increases traffic to a specific website. Gestator.
Right, which, just to interject again, Neil, and now that could cause a problem. Like, I put a document on my website that was larger than I'd intended to, and encouraged people to download it. Zumph, my website went because I went straight over the bandwidth. So that internet service providers or hosting companies will take your website down if you go over a bandwidth. So falsely increasing the traffic is a way of getting rid of a...
Well, it can work in either way. It can direct people towards it because that's a favourable site, or it can, as you say, destroy the site by basically overloading it and making it fall out of its parameters. Gestator is a program that promotes a certain message or trope or story or theory. That's the one where basically they'll push false stories through the internet. Changeling, now this is a really scary one. Changeling sends emails from your account that are indeterminable. So if they wanted to discredit you, they could basically plant child porn on your computer remotely, send that via an email, and you're all of a sudden on the sex offenders register.
Right.
Like, and that's absolutely 100% admitted. And the JTRIG is one program. JTRIG, now all of those are part of JTRIG, which is a GCHQ type operation. It was a GCHQ operation. There are lots of similar programs that exist via US intelligence.